So it does appear that AEW Rampage will be going away at the end of this year. I believe the last episode will air on December 27th, 2024. And since Rampage is seemingly going away for the foreseeable future, close my headset, I wanted to talk about the top 10 matches to ever occur on AEW Rampage. That is not simply locking into 1 year. That is throughout the entire duration of AEW Rampage from 2021 to 2024. And you know what, maybe these aren't what you would consider the best matches to occur on Rampage to be, but these are at least 10 matches that I believe, if you haven't seen because you didn't watch Rampage during its tenure, maybe you should check these matches out. And if you don't like this video and subscribe to the channel, well, I'm just going to have to eat you alive. I don't know what to tell you. Anyway, Hangman Adam Page and Wheeler Yuta had a match showcasing their contrast of styles with a rising young star and the veteran in Adam Page. Page's brawling and Wheeler Yuta's quick technical style provided a very compelling back and forth dynamic throughout the match, with Yuta trying to outpace Page from the opening bell and Page relying on his power and experience to weather that storm. The match progressed with a couple of dramatic near falls and high impact moves. Wheeler's resilience was on full display, but Adam Page's combination of precision and brute strength ultimately gave him the win, winning with Jon Moxley's Death Rider. This match demonstrated Wheeler Yuta's potential as a rising star and reinforced Adam Page's status as a dominant star in AEW. Pac and Penta El Zero Miedo versus Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood. I believe the original match was scheduled to be the Lucha Brothers versus Cash Wheeler and Dax Harwood of FTR, but I believe Fenix was unable to travel at the time, so he was swapped out with Pac, which Pac and Penta would face FTR in a very good tag team encounter. Pac and Penta brought their high-flying offense and unorthodox styles to the table, while FTR leaned on their classic grounded approach to tag team wrestling. This clash of styles created a really unique dynamic, with both of the team's strengths shining through. Throughout the match, FTR's tactical precision and chemistry allowed them to isolate each opponent effectively, but Pac and Penta repeatedly fought back with explosive comebacks. The ending came down to Malachi Black misting Pac in the eyes and Dax Harwood taking advantage and pinning. This match was a very good highlight and showcase of the diversity of AEW's tag team division, and showed us that the trio of the Death Triangle could be any two of them, and that force will be a hard one to deal with for whoever their opponent is at the time. Then we have BCC's Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson versus Dante Martin and Darius Martin of Top Flight. Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson, as the Blackpool Combat Club, would team up to face the high-flying duo of Top Flight's Dante and Darius Martin, who relied on their speed and agility to keep the far more experienced Jon Moxley and Bryan Danielson on their toes, which created a very captivating blend of styles. It's always great to see Bryan Danielson in the ring. Top Flight was very creative with how they went about this match, and they pushed BCC to their limit. But Jon Moxley and Danielson, being the veterans that they are, did prove to be too much for Top Flight. The match was a decisive victory for the BCC, but it also showcased the potential of Top Flight as future stars in AEW's tag team division, with Danielson winning the match with the Regal stretch. Now we have Jon Moxley versus Sammy Guevara. Jon Moxley and Sammy Guevara was a kind of emotionally charged, hard-hitting match that highlighted their completely opposing personas. Moxley was very intense and unrelenting the entire time. Guevara was flashy and going for all the high-risk offense, as he does. The match was filled with intense exchanges and dramatic counters. Moxley overcame Guevara's aerial assaults. The crowd was on fire the whole time. Every near fall felt huge. Moxley dominated and sealed the win for himself, remaining one of AEW's most resilient competitors, as he still is to this day. Then we have Fenix versus Commander, Fight for the Fallen, with Fenix and Commander facing off in a breathtaking singles match that highlighted their shared mastery of their high-flying styles and aerial maneuvers. It was a showcase of Lucha Libre at its finest, with both competitors executing crazy sequences that defied physics. The chemistry between the two was evident, and they seamlessly and perfectly countered each other's offense. The match progressed and the stakes grew higher. The crowd was fully invested in the match, which is so good to see in Rampage matches. Fenix's experience and ability to adapt gave him the edge. He won against Commander, hard-fought victory, solidified both men as standout performers on AEW's roster, whether in tag team or singles competition. Then you have Pac versus Andrade El Idolo. This would be their second time facing off against each other, both times being on Rampage. This is a highly anticipated rematch. They delivered a technical masterpiece. Both of their wrestling styles are unique, and Andrade's finesse and Pac's raw athleticism and intensity clashed so strong, and it looked great on the outside as a fan, as a viewer. The storytelling throughout the match was top-notch. Both men targeted each other's weaknesses to gain the advantage. In the closing moments, Pac would counter Andrade El Idolo with an inside cradle, and then Malachi Black would appear, solidifying one of Rampage's best matches. Then we have Bryan Danielson versus Eddie Kingston. Bryan Danielson and Eddie Kingston had a very strong story going into their matches, every single one of their matches as a matter of fact, and they were feuding at a point. And this was a very brutal and emotionally charged match that showcased their contrasting but shared idea of styles. They both have Japanese influence in their styles, you can tell. And Danielson's technical mastery with Kingston's hard-hitting, no-nonsense approach created a very engaging match, start to finish. The match ending with Bryan Danielson putting Eddie Kingston in a triangle choke and Eddie Kingston flipping Bryan Danielson off while passing out. Next up we have FTR and Trent Beretta versus United Empire's Kyle Fletcher, Mark Davis, and Will Ospreay. The 6-man tag match combined FTR's old school style tag team expertise with Trent Beretta's fiery offense, with United Empire's dynamic and hard-hitting style as well. Hanare's presence at the ringside added an extra layer of tension to this match. It was very high energy, a lot of exchanges and moments of tag team work from both sides. In the end, FTR and Beretta proved too much for United Empire, giving them the significant victory, but it did highlight AEW's ability to bring international stars into compelling matchups with the American style of wrestling. Next up we have Bryan Danielson versus Minoru Suzuki. This is probably a dream match for wrestling purists. Danielson takes on Japanese legend Minoru Suzuki, masterclass in technical wrestling and striking, pushed each other to their limits. Suzuki has a punishing and methodical style, which was a perfect counterpoint to Danielson's pace, his relentless ongoing pace and technical precision. The crowd was on fire the entire time. They exchanged brutal strikes, submission attempts. Danielson came very close when he won. Very narrow victory for Danielson. Grueling battle. Fans were in awe of the intensity of this match. This match was near perfect, and for it being on one of the earlier episodes of Rampage, it was one of the matches that definitely established Rampage as a place where good wrestling can still occur on a Friday. And last but most certainly not least, the Young Bucks versus the Lucha Brothers in Ontario, California. I just so happened to have had the pleasure of being in the building for this match with Dylan. This match was highly anticipated, which was semi-common for the Young Bucks and the Lucha Brothers. All of their matches have been outstanding since they began fighting each other. They've been technically on and off feuding since they started. This match was an instant classic. It highlighted the best of tag team wrestling as a whole. Two of possibly the two best tag teams on the planet wrestling each other in one of their hometowns, the Young Bucks' hometowns, both being known for their innovative offense and incredible chemistry, not only with each other but against each other. Not even with their tag partner, but with their opponents as well. Both teams pushed the boundaries of what a tag team match could possibly be in the ring. The match was filled with high-risk sequences, near falls. Being in the arena for this was a different experience. The Young Bucks did emerge victorious in this encounter. They've solidified multiple times over that they are one of the greatest tag teams in wrestling history. This match will likely always be a massive example of AEW's ability to produce world-class tag team wrestling, world-class any wrestling. And of course, this Rampage we're talking about, there were not only big matches, but there were big moments. So, I guess I have one honorable mention to end off the video. Wheeler Yuta earning the respect of BCC after facing Jon Moxley. Very emotional moment, very intense match for Wheeler Yuta. Very hard-hitting, technical masterclass from Mox and Yuta. New member of BCC earned his mentor's respect. Big moment. I don't think I'm missing anything else, so... Get off the video, yeah. Fine. First dance. That's all you get.